Yesterday, the Supreme Court handed Donald Trump his biggest education victory yet. Within hours, nearly 1,400 federal employees got pink slips. $6.8 billion in school funding? Frozen. Civil rights investigations? Gutted. This isn't just politics. This is the systematic dismantling of public education as we know it. And it's happening right now, while kids are about to start school. Here's exactly what Trump just did, and why millions of students are about to feel the consequences. Yesterday, July 14th, 2025, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 to allow Trump's mass layoffs at the Department of Education to proceed. A federal judge had blocked these cuts back in March, but now the floodgates are open. The numbers are staggering. The Education Department started with over 4,100 employees. Trump is cutting nearly 1,400 of them. That's more than 1/3 of the entire workforce. Gone. But the layoffs are just the beginning. Trump's administration has also frozen $6.8 billion in congressionally approved education funding that was supposed to go out July 1st. That money funds after-school programs, English language learning, migrant education, and teacher training. Trump called this a victory for students and parental rights. But here's what he didn't mention. The departments getting hit the hardest are the ones that protect vulnerable kids. The Office for Civil Rights, the department that investigates discrimination in schools, lost over 40% of its staff. 40%. That's the office that's supposed to protect students from racial discrimination, sexual harassment, and disability rights violations. Families who filed discrimination complaints are now being told their cases are stalled indefinitely. One parent told NPR their child's bullying case, which involved racial slurs, has been sitting in limbo for months because there's literally no one left to investigate it. And Trump's budget proposal cuts another $49 million from the Office for Civil Rights. The message is clear. If you're being discriminated against in school, you're on your own. Before these cuts, the department was already backlogged with over 16,000 pending civil rights cases. Now, those cases might never get resolved. Let's talk about that frozen $6.8 billion, because this isn't just numbers on a spreadsheet. This is real money that real schools were counting on. Title I funding helps schools in low-income areas. English language learner programs serve kids who don't speak English as their first language. Migrant education programs help children of farm workers. These aren't woke programs. They're lifelines. California alone is missing over $800 million in education funding. That's money that was already approved by Congress, already allocated, and schools were planning their budgets around it. Here's the kicker. School starts in just a few weeks. Districts that were planning to hire teachers, buy supplies, or expand programs are now scrambling to figure out how to do more with less. Rural schools that depend on federal funding for special education services, they're looking at massive cuts. After-school programs that keep kids safe while parents work, many won't open this fall. Trump has been promising to eliminate the Department of Education since 2016. He's called it woke, bloated, and part of the deep state. But here's what's really happening. This is about privatization. When you gut federal oversight and funding for public schools, you create a crisis. Then you offer vouchers and private school options as the solution. It's a playbook that's been used before. The billionaires who fund school privatization efforts are celebrating. Less regulation means more profit. Less oversight means less accountability. But teachers' unions, parent groups, and even some conservative education advocates are pushing back. They're saying this isn't about parental rights. It's about abandoning public education entirely. Trump's team says states will have full control now. But here's the reality. Many states don't have the resources or infrastructure to fill the gaps the federal government is leaving behind. Let's get specific about who gets hurt. Students with disabilities rely on federal oversight to ensure schools follow their individual education plans. With fewer federal investigators, many schools will simply stop providing required services. LGBTQ+ students who face harassment have already seen their Title IX protections weakened. Now, with the Civil Rights Office gutted, there's even less protection. English language learners, kids who are already struggling to succeed in a second language, are losing specialized programs and trained teachers. The message to immigrant families couldn't be clearer, but the cruelest irony? The students who need the most help, kids in poverty, kids with disabilities, kids learning English, they're the ones being hurt most by these reforms. Meanwhile, wealthy suburban districts that never relied on federal funding will be just fine. This isn't about improving education. It's about creating a two-tiered system where your zip code determines your opportunities. The legal challenges are already starting. Several states are preparing lawsuits arguing that Trump exceeded his executive authority. Teachers' unions are mobilizing. Parent groups are organizing. But here's the political reality. Trump is betting that voters won't connect the dots. When schools struggle, when special needs kids don't get services, when after-school programs shut down, will people remember this moment? And this is just the beginning. Trump's team has openly said that other departments, Energy, EPA, Health and Human Services, could be next. The playbook is written. Cut staff, freeze funding, claim it's about efficiency. State education departments are already overwhelmed trying to figure out how to pick up the pieces. Some are talking about emergency funding measures. Others are preparing for the worst. Meanwhile, other countries are investing more in education, not less. While we're having debates about whether the federal government should help kids learn to read, other nations are pulling ahead. Here's what this really comes down to. Do we believe that every child, regardless of their background, deserves a quality education? Or do we believe that education is a privilege for those who can afford it? Trump says he's giving power back to parents and states. But you can't give power to people by taking away their resources. You can't improve schools by defunding them. The kids starting school this fall didn't choose this fight. They didn't ask for their civil rights protections to be weakened or their programs to be cut, but they're the ones who will live with the consequences. The Supreme Court may have given Trump the green light, but this story isn't over. Voters will have their say in 2026. States will fight back, and parents will demand answers when they see what these cuts really mean. The question isn't whether Trump can dismantle the Department of Education. Yesterday proved he can. The question is whether we'll let him get away with it. What do you think? Is this the future of American education? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to stay informed about what's really happening in politics, make sure to subscribe.